Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. The first case of COVID-19 on Tinian has been identified. Also tonight, an individual who denied to be quarantined upon arrival was arrested by police. And healthcare workers seek more funding during these trying times. In sports, the Nationals get back on the pitch facing an uncertain season. Stay with us, these stories and more are next.
Thank you for being here with us.
For finding ways to keep things happening.
For making things feel a lot better.
Thank you.
Energize, realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I can spend it on you, you can spend it on me. I can say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life.
Thank you for staying strong with us.
And for us.
Thank you for always connecting.
For keeping us together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding us
That despite this distance,
We are still better together.
DoCoMo Pacific, better together.
Life gets better. Get on better internet plans with the strongest internet from DoCoMo Pacific. With whole home Wi-Fi, it's the better way to work, play, and surf at home with the fastest download and upload speeds in the CNMI. Your better internet comes with the free Plume SuperPod for the strongest and safest Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home. Sign up today for as low as $50 a month and get a free smart tablet. Better value for your best connection. Because in everything we do, we are always better together.
Half a day to Ruwami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Monday, July 13th, 2020. The number rises to 33 cumulative positive COVID-19 cases in the CNMI. It's the first COVID-19 diagnosis identified for Tinian. On July 11th, the results for 2 individuals came back positive for COVID-19. Both are CNMI residents and were arriving passengers on the July 11th flight from Guam. One of the individuals did transit to Tinian, but had to immediately return to Saipan for additional testing, according to the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation.
Right now, it seems like this system works. We are able to identify quickly who's positive, who are landing on our borders and are basically being tested right away, and so we get the result basically before the end of the day. And again, the discussion with them as soon as they land is that even if you are released, that you are going to follow the strict, restricted movement, etc. So, making sure you wear a mask and all that.
Munoz says contact tracing on the 2 individuals is continuing as both were asymptomatic. As of July 13th, there is 33 cumulative positive COVID-19 cases in the CNMI with 2 deaths. And also on the arrival flight from Guam on Saturday, 2 individuals refused to undergo mandatory quarantine, leading to 1 arrest. According to the Department of Public Safety, around 9:24 a.m., DPS received a call from the COVID-19 task force requesting assistance at the Saipan International Airport as 2 passengers from the inbound flight continued to refuse to be transported to the Kanoa Resort quarantine site. The female individual, who is a U.S. Homeland Security agent, finally cooperated with DPS officers, but the husband did not. Officers arrested the male for obstruction of justice. When he was transported to the Department of Corrections, his temperature read above 100 degrees. The male was then transported to CHCC for a COVID-19 test, but the results came back negative. The individual was then taken back to DOC. All the officers that responded to the case were immediately tested for COVID-19 as well. The results came back negative, but due to protocol, the officers were placed in quarantine at Kanoa Resort and will remain there until the results of the follow-up COVID-19 test come back negative. While the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases increases in the CNMI, healthcare workers continue to work hard to control the spread. And as they play a key role in the pandemic, lawmakers are shocked that they have a minimal share of federal funds. Our Sally Lemus reports.
Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation CEO Esther Munya and her team sent in a budget proposal of $33 million, but the Office of the Governor has only granted $4.4 million.
We are doing much more than we're obligated to do, and that's been constantly what we're doing all the time.
Munya says they are trying to get more funding for an increase for personnel salaries and additional services in the clinics.
We've been spending on oncology, we've been spending on the ENT services, the specialized care that actually helps medical referral funding by having these services here, available here.
And because there is a CNMI mission and CHCC mission, there are some operations that federal funds do not cover.
Our staff that provides the testing, whether they collect the specimen, and also our medical staff that reviews those tests to validate them. Those are our staff participating in this community-based testing for CNMI mission. It does, the health aspect is there, but it doesn't pay for our staff to do these extra work other than the work that we're already doing.
Munya says FEMA will be able to reimburse some operation costs, but they are still being careful. Representative Ralph Yumo.
The hospital is currently affected by COVID. Each agency's got funding from COVID. I believe the legislature had COVID-related funds. The court had COVID-related funds that were given or issued to the various branches. But I'm still not, I cannot grasp where zero is given to CACC or maybe minimal. And that's something that we need to look at.
Reporting for KSPN News, I'm Sally Lemus.
Parole was granted on Friday for two men who appeared in front of the parole board at the Multipurpose Center. Here's more.
Parole was granted for Vincent Narita. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison after stealing a car and leading police on a high-speed chase. He has served just over 3 of those. His sister has volunteered to be a sponsor. The Attorney General's office opposed parole, noting that Narita stole numerous cars and burglarized numerous homes. Parole was denied for John Hamilton, who broke into an apartment on Middle Road, and after the apartment owner confronted him, he used a screwdriver to attack, causing an injury. Parole granted for John Tergezo, who pled guilty to arson and assault and battery. Police said in October 2017 he tried to kill his girlfriend at the time by dousing her with gasoline, pushing her in a bedroom, and then setting the room on fire. He was serving an 11-year term. 5 of those had been suspended under a 2018 plea agreement. Parole was revoked on Friday for Sean Appleby, convicted of murdering a Korean man in the 90s. Appleby appeared at a parole revocation hearing, and the board heard testimony from a victim who said she was assaulted by Appleby.
I'm not just there to, put them behind bars. Right. So there's a condition that governs them, and they must abide that conditions. So again, this is just a process of administrative hearing on the Board of Parole. Presented this morning, the witness, we have sufficient evidence. I'm not a lawyer, but based on the witnesses, all the board heard about it. There's some conditions, violations.
Those living on Tinian need not to be alarmed tomorrow, as military exercise will be taking place on the Tinian North Field. On July 14th from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., there will be training conducted by the military. Governor Torres is advising the public, specifically pilots and marine tour operators, to stay away from this area during that time. For more information, contact the Sinamai EOC State Warning Point. Coming up, sea turtles get ready to leave the shores and go into the ocean. More on this after the break.
Did you know Sinamai's coral reefs and seagrass ecosystems are worth about $115 million a year? Coral reefs alone are valued over $100 million a year. All the more reason these precious ecosystems must continue to be protected. Coral reefs are important to the people of the Sinamai because they provide traditional and subsistence uses, production of commercial food products, recreational opportunities for a healthy tourist economy, and physical protection from storms. Do not break or collect coral to take home with you. We need them. Corals are living animals, and it takes decades to create reef structures. Planting trees, grass, and shrubs on bare soil helps prevent sediment from entering our oceans. Trees also help fight climate change. Use a rain barrel and collect water from roofs, yards, and paved surfaces. You can help keep storm water on your property and pollutants out of waterways by building a rain garden. The ocean floor isn't a dance floor. Stepping on corals can break them. Maintain buoyancy when snorkeling or diving. Nutrients from excess fertilizer increases algae growth that blocks sunlight to corals. Coral reefs need clean, clear water to survive. Help keep our beaches litter-free. Always take out your own trash and a little bit more. Anchor in sandy areas away from coral and seagrass or use mooring buoys so the anchor and chain do not drag on nearby corals. Reduce, reuse, rethink, repair, refuse, recycle. Do not feed the fish. Do not take or step on coral. Do not collect shells. Do not fish. Help with local tree planting community events, local beach cleanups, and get involved in protecting your watershed. Participate in training or education programs that focus on reef ecology. You can make a difference. Please contact Mina to get involved in community conservation.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. DLNR is monitoring a few sea turtle nesting sites on Saipan, ensuring the route from the egg to the Pacific Ocean is a safe one. Sea turtle nesting season is wrapping up, but not without a few more batches of eggs being laid.
Right now we are monitoring about 4 female sea turtles, and they're just spread around all over Saipan. We do get some towards the north, like usually Bird Island. Bird Island is fine because there's a lookout. So Bird Island, the surrounding beaches in there. We get some on the east side and then towards the south. Peak season was actually March till July this year, so we've had a pretty busy season, and then it's slowly coming down.
Carrie Dimapon is the public outreach specialist for the DLNR Sea Turtle Program, who says around the world there are 7 different sea turtle species alive today, and only one of those species nests in the Sinamai, the green sea turtle.
That species in particular lays between 80 to 120 eggs in one nest, and usually in a nesting season they can come back maybe 3 to 5 times. Yeah. So we get an average of 12 nesting females that visit our island annually, sometimes more or less, it depends. And basically they tend to nest on sandy beaches, usually on the east side and the west side of Saipan.
One sea turtle can lay up to 6 nests in 1 year, taking about 2 months for the eggs to hatch. And although there may be many eggs in those nests, the baby sea turtles' journey into the safety of the ocean can be a bit of a daunting task once the hatchlings enter the world. One obstacle a baby sea turtle can face is following the light. Bonfires on beaches at night play a negative role in this.
Sea turtles, they are affected by bonfires in a number of different ways. When a sea turtle hatches, these hatchlings are attracted to the light, and we know that these turtles come out of their nest at night to avoid predators. So typically they try and follow the horizon or the moonlight in the ocean, but if there's a light source somewhere else, they'll be attracted to that. You know, they'll crawl away from the ocean, and then with that they might experience more predators on their way there. We know that sea turtles nest underneath the sand. So when you do have a bonfire on top, you know, you will destroy the entire nest and ruin the eggs because there is a certain temperature range that the eggs need to incubate in.
Another factor playing against sea turtles is the risk of getting poached before or after the laying of the eggs.
So in terms of sea turtle eggs and hatchlings, we haven't gotten that much incidents related to poaching, but right now our focus is on the nesting adult sea turtles that are being targeted for poaching. Just this year in 2020, we had about 6 incidents and attempts. So we had 2 poaching attempts, which meaning these sea turtles survived. We found them stranded on the beach and we were able to release them back into the ocean. And then the other 4 were poaching incidents where we did find fresh sea turtle and probably like 3 dried up carcasses, spread around the jungles and the beaches.
If you have any information about poaching, contact the DLNR's hotline shown on the screen. Save the baby sea turtles, as it is quite the journey from the egg into the sea. On Guam, KUAM has the latest on the deployment of the USS Theodore Roosevelt.
Hafaday CNMI. The USS Theodore Roosevelt is finally back home. It docked in San Diego after what can be described as one of its most unforgettable deployments.
The Teddy Roosevelt left port on January 17 to conduct operations in the Indo-Pacific and maintain security and stability in the region. Along the way, the Navy says it made a historic port visit to Da Nang, Vietnam, only the second time a U.S. aircraft carrier has visited the country since the Vietnam War to commemorate 25 years of U.S.-Vietnam diplomatic relations. But soon after, while at sea, there was an outbreak of coronavirus aboard the ship, and in early March it pulled into Guam ahead of what the Navy said was a scheduled port visit. But word of the outbreak leaked to the media through an email by then Commanding Officer Captain Brett Crozier, who was pleading for help. But Acting Navy Secretary at the time, Thomas Modley, pushed back, even making a personal trip from D.C. to Guam, where he berated Crozier in an address to the crew over the ship's PA system.
It was my opinion that if he didn't think that information was going to get out into the public in this information age that we live in, then he was A, too naive or too stupid to be the commanding officer of a ship like this. The alternate is that he did it on purpose. And that's a serious violation of the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
Modley would later step down after heavy criticism in Washington about those remarks. And Crozier, though despite the apparent support of his crew, was still relieved of his command.
Captain Crozier! Captain Crozier! Captain Crozier!
Guam played a big role in the recovery of the sailors. Governor Leon Guerrero approved the use of local hotels to quarantine the overflow of service members. The ship was finally able to push off and get back to its mission on June 4th, but the fate of Crozier was sealed after a further investigation by the Navy. Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Michael Gilday.
And it is my belief that both Admiral Baker and Captain Crozier fell well short of what we expect of those in command. He thought that the accommodations in the gym with the beds 6 feet apart, he didn't like that. That's one of the reasons he didn't send people ashore at speed, because he wanted the hotel rooms. The reason why Crozier sent the email was because he felt when he sent it that we weren't moving fast enough on the hotels. But based on what I just said, those wheels were well in motion.
Meanwhile, upon the TR's return home, current commanding officer Captain Carlos Sardiello is quoted as saying, The crew of TR persevered, displaying uncommon fortitude and tenacity in the face of uncertainty to meet expectations in a crisis. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Check us out at KUN News. Thank you, Jason. Coming up in the KSPN2 Sports Report, a most historic victory, the first of its kind seen here.
We are with you. At times when you need us most, you can count on us to be there. When you need someone to talk to. When you need to stay informed. When you need to brighten your day. When you need to stay connected. We are here keeping our promise that while the world is changing, we keep working so you can keep connecting. We are your DoCoMo Pacific family, and we are here to help.
Green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They're an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the Sea Turtle Stranding Hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle.
Winigi PHI Pharmacy in Gofadahi, Ihinim Lomo.
Our complete line of pharmaceuticals and lowest prices ensure you get the treatment that you deserve.
Our compassionate, friendly, multilingual staff will take the time to get to know you, explain your medications to you, and answer any questions that you may have.
Ngere eyor sumaye uhalweres ren, kutsu weyor safeye emal ebalisiu klalyam weres.
Inumin ng inyong gamot ayon sa inireseta ng inyong doktor at alinsunod sa bilin ng inyong parmasutiko.
We accept most insurance, but in case you don't have coverage, we offer cost-effective generic drugs.
PHI Pharmacy, your lifelong partner in health. PHI, the pharmacy you can trust.
Buenas sports fans. Buenas sports fans, the NMI women's national soccer team has resumed training, although tournaments and games are up in the air. Who cares? Girls just want to have fun playing soccer outdoors.
On loan from the Chelsea Football Club in Hong Kong, Coach Jackie is the women's national coach. He's working out the team the best he can while following guidelines. Even laps around the field are socially distanced at least 6 feet.
Only keep social distance and then do some individual training. Maybe this week we can play 4 against 1 or 3 against 1. Small side game.
You know, so much of girls, they want to be compete and they want to play games. So how do you keep that competitive edge?
Oh, the girl is very, very good discipline. Because maybe some low training is very body. Yeah, now we are competing is 20, 21 some player is coming.
Crizel Tuazon, one of the returnees, happy to be back.
How you feeling?
Feeling great. Glad that we're back on the field because it's been like 3 months.
But there's no games, but you guys are motivated anyway?
Yeah. Actually, we have like small-sided games now. Before we were like not touching each other physically.
So you're getting more closer, more contact?
Yes.
How's it feeling physically? Are you ready? Are you back to shape? You got a long way to go.
I got a long way to go.
Coach says normally these girls would have so much to look forward to.
Some motivation for the girls to focus to the future. How's the game? The Men's Cup, AFC, the EAFF.
In the meantime, it's practice, 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 3 days a week. Remember, this month, 6 years ago, the NMI women's team notched their very first international victory. It's a KSPN2 Sports Classic. Family members greeted the team like returning heroes. Players knew that they had been part of something special.
Yeah, a lot. It was fun. We made history.
It was amazing, and it was definitely history.
You scored a goal. You're playing defense, and you scored a goal. How'd that happen?
Well, the game was we played a very offensive game because we took the opportunity that Macau presented us with their weaker team, and we just scored.
It was really fun and experience against the women's team and enjoying with them together.
Happy.
Happy. Did you feel like kings or queens?
Very happy. Yeah.
Do you feel like a king or a queen?
Must be queen.
Watching their male counterparts win the day before may have helped this team's confidence.
I think so, I think so. I think so because they think that, we have been working for so long. So, and Macau is a very new team. So I think they have watched Macau and Guam. I think they are a bit confident even before the game.
I think it did because no U.S. adult national team, or U.S. NMI adult national team has ever won an international game, and so that was definitely inspiring to see.
Second place never felt so good, even second place out of only 3 teams, which prompted NMIFA Vice President Vicky Izuka to recall her high school basketball playing days.
I was fortunate to have been on a championship team for several seasons. My team was known as the Shining Stars after we won our first championship. And after your win last week, I've been thinking of you as the Shining Stars of the NMI.
She noted the long road that this team has taken.
The sheer will and determination of our women's players to achieve this first win in NMI women's football comes in perfect time too, as we move closer to our ultimate goal of becoming a FIFA member. Having been with NMIFA since it began in 2005, and all of the challenges that come with a mostly volunteer organization, I could not even envision that a win with such a young women's team would come this early. But knowing that you were training day in and day out over the past 3 years with the Chelsea Soccer School coaches, and some of you even earlier at the club levels, participating at higher levels such as the Men's M League, in various men's recreational matches, and especially at the inaugural U21 Women's League, you persevered.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw!
Let's roll at Gold's Gym Saipan with group exercise for every body. Total Resistant Exercise, or TRX, helps develop your core and improve strength. And Zumba toning is probably the funnest way to get fit. The Shake Cafe is a great place to stop by for a meal replacement or supplements. Today is the first day of the rest of your life.
Today's high 90, the low 80, the heat index 107. Yes, that ties the highest that we've had all year. 75% humidity. Tomorrow, partly sunny, isolated showers, east winds 10 to 15. High 90, low 79, seas 4 to 5 feet. Sunrise 5:54, low tide 9:12 in the morning, high tide 3:12 in the afternoon, sunset at 6:51. You can see the comet Neowise in the, well, of course, sunrise northwest part. We'll have more on that comet later on in this week. Thank you for watching. See you back here Wednesday.